Okay, so we're looking at a really critical 72-hour window in late December 2025, specifically the 22nd to the 24th.
That's right.
We've done a deep dive into the sources you sent over, and the message seems pretty clear. The whole regional status quo with Vietnam, China, Taiwan, it's being dismantled.
It is. And our mission today is to, get past the headlines and find the three big shifts, the things that really altered the strategic calculus in just those 3 days.
Right. The so what's of it all. So let's start with Vietnam. The sources show some pretty serious political consolidation happening internally.
The 13th Central Committee plenum.
Exactly. They confirmed General Secretary Lam's roadmap for the next Congress. It really sets the stage for what they're calling a new era.
And what's so fascinating is how that internal stability directly enables their external moves. It clears the deck, it lets them pursue this bamboo diplomacy without any internal debate slowing things down.
So on one hand, they're reinforcing ties with Beijing, talking about a fate community.
Right. But on the other hand, below the surface of all that talk, they're making massive physical moves in the South China Sea.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The intelligence you shared confirms Vietnam has just, well, massively accelerated land reclamation on all 21 of their reefs in the Spratlys.
It's the key nugget. We're not talking minor dredging. The scale of their island building has hit almost 70% of China's total effort.
70%. That's happening way faster than anyone expected.
Much faster. And it signals this irreversible proactive defensive stance. For policymakers in D.C. or Tokyo, this means Hanoi isn't just making claims anymore. They're creating facts on the water.
That idea, creating facts on the water, is a perfect bridge to the Taiwan Strait because the conflict there is shifting. It's moving from gray zone military stuff into, well, what we call lawfare.
A legal war. And it raises this really important question. What happens when Beijing just decides to extend its own domestic criminal law across the strait?
You're talking about that bounty, the one on December 24th.
Exactly. China's Weihai Public Security Bureau puts out a high bounty reward for 2 Taiwanese nationals.
And this isn't in a vacuum, right? It connects back to that Hong Tai 58 incident from earlier in the year where Taiwan convicted a Chinese captain for cutting a submarine cable.
Precisely. This looks like retaliation, but with a new weapon. Taiwan calls it transnational repression, and they're right to. Beijing is just bypassing the 2009 judicial agreement.
So it's not just military pressure anymore. It's an attack on Taiwan's actual legitimacy as a functioning legal state.
That's the core of it. And that brings us to our final shift, which is really two sides of the same coin, military power and economic decoupling.
The new U.S.-China military power report came out on the 23rd. It's pretty sobering.
It is. It solidifies the PLA's 2027 deadline for what they call strategic decisive victory, which basically means having the power to not just invade, but to win against any U.S. intervention.
And the report's big finding is the DF-27 missile. Why is its range that important?
Because it's now confirmed to have anti-ship ballistic missile capability, an ASBM. Its range, 5,000 to 8,000 kilometers, that changes everything.
Everything how?
It puts the entire second island chain, including Guam, directly at risk. It forces the U.S. to operate from much, much farther away. The whole A2AD calculus is completely upended.
So immense military pressure. But on the flip side, we see this incredible economic shift in Taiwan's investment data from the 24th.
It's stunning, really.
Taiwan's investment in China has just cratered. It went from over 83% in 2010 to less than 7% in 2025.
A near total disengagement. The pivot is so clear. The money is now flowing to the U.S., to Vietnam. It validates that whole China plus one strategy. And more importantly, it removes that old economic lever Beijing always had over Taipei.
So to wrap up these 72 hours,
Well-
have Vietnam's power play combining internal politics with aggressive physical expansion.
Then you have a new legal battlefield opening up in the Taiwan Strait.
And finally, the DF-27 changing the military balance while Taiwan's economy completely decouples from China's.
Which leaves us with a final sort of provocative thought for you to consider. If that economic interdependence is no longer a break on conflict, and both military and legal pressure are rising, what's left? What, other than a balance of terror, can actually guarantee stability in the region heading into 2026?